the shortstop.
We welcome you back to Game 2 from Stony Brook Field. The Brewster Whitecaps and Hyannis Harbor Hawks already underway. This is Nick Lofton at the plate as he takes a look at a strike on the outside corner. Mitch McIntyre was out number 1 at the top of the first here with a fly out to center field to Colin Davis, making his second straight start here on this Father's Day. Sean Hunley is the man on the mound as he fires in a breaking ball that misses down and away. The right-hander from Tennessee finished up his sophomore season just a couple of months ago, now making his first appearance of the summer as Lofton grounds one to shortstop. Workman over to get the newly entered shortstop, and the throw is over across the diamond in time to retire Lofton, and here comes Trevor Hauver. So Game 2 getting underway very quickly as Trevor Hauver making his first plate appearance here in Game 2. Went 0 for 3 with a walk back in Game 1 against the right-hander Hunley now. Hauver will take his cuts from the left side again. First pitch from Hunley, a fastball down below the knees taken for a ball. Rest of the Harbor Hawk lineup looking like this. Hunter Goodman on deck, serving as the DH out of the cleanup spot. Rigsby Mosley in right. Here comes the 0-1. That's in there for a strike. Evens the count 1-1, I beg your pardon. First pitch was a ball wide. Brooks Carlson behind Rigsby Mosley, batting out of the 6th spot. Jackson Olsen, Adam Hackenberg, and Fox Simone is rounding out the lineup. 1-1 breaking pitch off the outside part of the plate. 2-1 in favor of Hauver. 11-5 was the final in favor of the Brewster Whitecaps in Game 1. 2-1 fastball cracked on a line with a one-hop diving stop is Kostenis. Throw over to first is not in time as Hauver's able to beat it out. So Kostenin sliding over from shortstop to second base for Game 2 with a doubleheader. As Hauver able to beat out his throw. A great stop to avoid that one from skipping into the outfield. And that'll bring up Hunter Goodman 1 for 4 with a home run. Back in Game 1. So it's been a whirlwind of a day for the Harbor Hawks, who are still looking for their first win of the season. First pitch is a fastball on the outside corner to Hunter Goodman as he takes a look down at Coach Chad Gassman down the third baseline. A quick first 2 outs of the inning for Hunley, but now working from the stretch with Hauver at first. A broken bat down the right field line. That's going to fall in for a fair ball as it trickles down into foul territory. Rounding first, heading for second is Goodman. On his way to third is Hauver, as Goodman is going to pull up at second base with a 2-out double. It's 2-minute scoring position now for Rigsby Mosley.
And Goodman just continues to hit a broken bat flare shot off the end of the wood down the right field line over the head of the first baseman Hardman. Just like that, Harbor Hawks in business in the top of the first.
So the Troy outfielder making his second appearance on this Sunday in Game 2 with a doubleheader. Already a couple hits on the board for the Harbor Hawks, trying to stay aggressive as they put up 5 runs in Game 1 on 11 hits. Hauver at third, Goodman at second, Mosley at the plate. Here comes the first pitch of the at-bat, a fastball down by the ankles, 1-0. Most of the fans have stuck around here for Game 2 at Stony Brook Field. Audience has thinned out a little bit with the rain starting to pick up. Hunley set the 1-0. Fastball, a chopper towards second. Over to get it is Workman. It trickles under his glove, and 1 run's going to come in to score in Hauver. Second run in Goodman right behind him. It's 2-0, an RBI single off the bat of Rigsby Mosley, and the Harbor Hawks are in business early.
And Rigsby just shoots one up the middle. Shortstop Workman trying to go to his left. Couldn't quite get the glove down in time. It skips into center. Just like that. Good start early for the Harbor Hawks, quickly putting 2 on the board.
Brooks Carlson.
So after suffering a 6-run defeat in Game 1, the Harbor Hawks not messing around, putting up a quick 2 spot in the first inning against the starter Sean Hunley. As Brooks Carlson making his first appearance of the afternoon as a curveball tails back too far off the outer edge of the plate. Couldn't pick up the strike call, 1-0. So Carlson making his appearance today at first base in Game 2 as he sends this one down the line in right field. That's going to be a fair ball. Rigsby Mosley rounding second on his way to third. Carlson puts the brakes on after a wide turn at first, and it's spent on the corners now, giving way to Jackson Olsen with 2 away.
And there's another couple hits for the Harbor Hawks. In fact, that's 4 in a row here in the first, and nice job by Carlson, just shooting one the other way. Keeps the rally going and moves Rigsby over to third.
Now a quick conference on the mound. Brett Auerbach, the catcher, as part of the Alabama Crimson Tide, will have a quick conference with Tennessee Vol Sean Hunley. Jackson Olsen awaiting his first plate appearance here of Game 2 at the plate. Also played in Game 1 in a 2-for-4 effort. So Rigsby Mosley at third, Brooke Carlson at first. A quick start for the Harbor Hawks, jumping all over the Brewster Whitecaps. 2 runs on 3 hits thus far. And a quick pace to the top of the first inning in Game 2 as the first pitch from Hundley, a fastball misses wide, 1-0. Olsen sporting a compressive sleeve on that right arm as he wiggles the bat, ready for the 1-0. It's a called strike at the knees. So for Olsen, looking to continue on his fine afternoon, picking up his third hit. If he can get one right here and bring home another run as it's in the air to right center. Falling fast, but not fast enough as Davis comes ranging in to make the play, and that will retire the side. But the Harbor Hawks put up a quick 2 on the board on 3 hits. They lead it 2-0, headed to the bottom of the first here from Stony Brook Field on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Welcoming you back to Stony Brook Field for the bottom of the first inning. The Harbor Hawks off to a quick 2-0 start, and on the mound for them in Game 2, the right-hander from Moorhead State, Alex Garbrick. The redshirt sophomore made 19 appearances, 3-3 record in 58 and a third innings pitched, gave up 54 hits, 28 earned, and a 4.32 earned run average. He'll be starting off against Colin Davis, the man who led off Game 1, batting from the right side. Uniform still dirty as Garbrick kicks and deals. Davis squared a bunt and sent it foul off to the left of the home plate area toward the backstop. Al Solari and Tyler Gentry sent to follow him in the inning, and if we get to it, TJ Collette making his second straight appearance on this Sunday afternoon as we move toward evening. Garbrick from the windup shakes off a couple of signs. Now he's got one on the 0-1. Here it comes. Breaking ball just off the outer part of the plate. Rule the ball. Evens the count up 1-1 to the Wofford center fielder Colin Davis. The 1-1 on the way. Garbrick skips a fastball up to the plate, knocked down off the glove of Hackenberg as it goes to the backstop 2-1. It's been a bit of a rough go for the Harbor Hawks in the early going on the season, but looking to pick up their first win here in Game 2 from Stony Brook Field, already up 2-0. Up to a quick start after suffering a 6-run defeat a bit earlier on this afternoon. The 2-1 from Garbrick. Fastball popped up in foul territory. Moving after it is Fox Simonis, and Hackenberg will give it a look as he loses the mask, but it sails off into the distance. So 2-2 as Davis regains the bat and will set up again in the right-handed batter's box. Garbrick shrugs his shoulders a bit. Glove set at the letters out of the windup. Infield at normal depth. Here comes the 2-2. Breaking ball into the dirt, stopped by Hackenberg as he fires it back to the right-hander on the mound with a full count against Colin Davis. Rain's starting to pick up a bit heavier than what we saw earlier on in game one. A lot of fans breaking out the windbreakers and sweatshirts as here comes a payoff pitch to Davis. Fastball low, he lost him. So Davis heads down to first with a leadoff walk for the Brewster Whitecaps. That'll bring up Al Solari, the left fielder from Tennessee.
The left fielder from Tennessee.
And Garbrick worked it to a full count, just missed a little bit low with that fastball for Colin Davis. 4th walk today, 3 in game 1. And now 1 here to lead off game 2.
So Solari digs in from the right side. Bat on his right shoulder as a turn and a fire back to first from Garbrick. No dive back from Davis. So Solari kicking his left foot out in front of the home plate, perhaps to try and adjust that ankle guard. The first pitch offering from Garbrick. Runner goes for second. Hackenberg fields the pitch. The throw down to second base is a wide one, but knocked down nicely by Nick Lofton coming across the bag. Tag is applied to the back foot, but in safely with a stolen base is Colin Davis.
And Davis again, making it felt early, stole a base in game 1 as well. And not really hesitating to take off on the first move of Garbrick. Now Brewster with a runner in scoring position.
So Solari with an RBI opportunity pretty early to try and strike back against the Harbor Hawks, who put up 2 in the top half of the first inning. The 1-0 on the way. A breaking ball misses wide, 2-0. As we mentioned a bit earlier on in the afternoon, no lights here at Stony Brook Field. Not really close to nightfall darkness yet. With just a 7-inning game left to go this afternoon, the 2-0. Fastball low, knocked down by Hackenberg again as he keeps it in front. Davis retreats back to the bag at second, 3-0 now. So Garbrick struggling to locate the fastball a bit. In the bottom of the first as the Brewster Whitecaps coming off an 11-run performance. Trying to keep the bats working. Garbrick set. Couple looks at Davis out at second base. Kicks and delivers a 3-0. Fastball, a chopper down the third baseline. But foul over toward the bleachers.
And how about that? They give Al Solari the green light on 3-0. He went after it, just not enough. Chopping it foul. But maybe bailed Garbrick out a little bit too. Of course, that would have been a strike had he not swung anyway. But for him, he's through the first almost 2 batters or so. Still looking to find the zone a little more consistently.
Well, we know Solari can hit. Put up a .357 average in his school season at Tennessee. 3-1 on the way. Fastball low. He walked him again. Back-to-back walks suffered by Garbrick to begin his outing. Here comes Tyler Gentry.
Next up, the right fielder from Alabama.
So some tough spots being put up here by Garbrick. Missing location a little bit, and Chad Gassman on his way out to the mound, as well as Hackenberg will converge in the conversation, as well as Jackson Olsen coming in from his spot at second base. Tyler Gentry getting set for his at-bat, kicking some dirt around in the right-handed batter's box before retreating back to the grass just off to the left. Coach Gassman perhaps trying to settle down the right-hander a little bit and just give him some words of encouragement with 2 on and nobody out. Now Hackenberg back to the plate, and Coach Gassman making a stroll back to the dugout. As Gentry steps in. So Garbrick with that black glove tucked under the right armpit, stares down at Hackenberg to get the first sign. Comes set, now the offering to Gentry. Fastball popped up in the air, up and out of play. As it lands on the grassy hill up behind us. Wind starting to pick up a bit. That perhaps could affect the field of play. Garbrick stares down at Hackenberg, jersey blowing in the wind. Dancing out at second base is Davis. The 0-1 pitch into the dirt, knocked down by Hackenberg. Fakes a throw back to second as Davis retreats. Time is called as Gentry takes a couple back steps out of the box. Everybody up on the railing of the Brewster dugout. It's been an exciting afternoon for them offensively with a couple runners aboard, nobody away, looking to continue upon their great performance. Garbrick, a deep breath, checks Davis, now the 1-1. Fastball at the knees, a called strike 2. Good location down and away from Garbrick that time. In much need of the first out here of the bottom of the first. You can hear the wind continuing to pick up as Garbrick is set again for the 1-2 pitch. Staring down Davis at second now, turns and fires, and it gets past the glove of Hackenberg to the backstop as both runners are going to advance. Davis takes a short turn around third base, but will pull up there. Couple runners in scoring position, nobody away, with Gentry still at the plate dealing with a 2-2 count.
And Hackenberg tried to stop it on the backhand, just couldn't quite do so as it skipped over his glove and got off the netting a little bit.
And Garbrick's been keeping Hackenberg busy behind the dish, no doubt about it, the catcher from Clemson. So it's now Davis advancing to third, Solari off the bag at second base, nobody holding either runner on. The 2-2 from Garbrick on the way, a chopper down the first baseline toward the Hyannis dugout foul. So Gentry putting up a fight here against Garbrick, forcing him to throw a lot of pitches and in a good fastball count on 2-2. TJ Collette, who was pinch hit for in game 1, awaits on deck, the Kentucky Wildcat. Garbrick nods in agreement with Hackenberg here. He's set. The 2-2 on the way. Fastball, check, swing, did he go? Appeal down to first, and no go. So the count swells to 3-2 on Gentry, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Garbrick in danger of walking his third straight man to start the bottom half of the first. The payoff pitch on the way. Fastball, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down goes Gentry with a lively fastball from Garbrick on the outer half of the plate. And a much-needed first out of the inning for Hyannis.
I was going to say, he blew that fastball right by him, just overpowered him, whiffing right through it, and Garbrick, good response after those first 2 walks to lead off the inning.
Number 53.
Here's my best, try and hit it. Garbrick blows the fastball right by him, and back to the dugout goes Gentry, and in steps TJ Collette. Batting from the left side, sporting that Kentucky blue elbow guard on his right arm. A deep breath from Garbrick, fires the first offering. Bouncing ball over to first base, over to get it, and flipping over to the covering Garbrick was Carlson. But a run coming in to cross the plate, that's Colin Davis picking up the bat on his way back to the dugout. TJ Collette with a productive out, cutting the lead in half, 2-1 Hyannis now.
Number 25, Gage Workman.
Well, Garbrick's still limiting damage a little bit as he induces the ground ball out. So another out on the board, but 1 run does score. Still got a chance to keep the lead intact, though.
So here is Gage Workman now with 2 away. As a fastball down and in of called strike, 0-1. Workman, the Arizona State Sun Devil, was also featured in game 1 in the Whitecaps lineup. Al Solari down at third base, hoping to be brought in and tie this ball game up. As it's cracked in the air to left field, sending Hauver back a couple steps toward the track just in front of the scoreboard. He will make the grab, and that will end the inning. So after a couple walks, Garbrick escapes any further damage, but the Whitecaps come back to cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. The Harbor Hawks with the advantage as we head to the top half of the second inning here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Nutrient-rich water every day.
Top half of the second inning from Stony Brook Field. Adam Hackenberg making his walk to the dish. Hyannis coming up with a 2-1 lead. Both teams tacking on a couple of runs in the first inning. 2 for Hyannis, 1 for Brewster. Brewster, the beneficiary of a couple of walks given up by Alex Garbrick. Don't have a hit yet on the board as the first pitch from Hundley to Hackenberg is a fastball off the outer edge of the plate, 1-0. Hackenberg seeing his first action of the evening. As Hundley working quickly, the 1-0 pitch sent in the air to deep left field, ranging back and watching it go is the left fielder Solari as Hackenberg makes his trot around first. His first home run of the 2019 summer extends the Hyannis lead up to 3-1, a shot to left field.
And that was on a frozen rope, wasn't it? I mean, that was absolutely torched out to deep left. The left fielder Solari just kind of gave a couple of courtesy steps and watched it go as it just ricocheted into the trees on a dead rope.
Yeah, that one got out of here in a hurry as Hackenberg exchanges helmet taps with the new batter at the plate, Fox Simonis from James Madison. Seeing some time at third base in game 2 as he taps a fastball off to the left of the home plate area, foul, 0-1. So runs being put up in a hurry by both squads here in game 2. Picking up right where they left off as 16 runs combined in the first game, already 4 here in game 2 as this one is skied in the air on the infield. Calling off everybody is the shortstop Workman, and he will make the grab as rounding first and headed to second was Simonis just in case, but not to be as he is retired for out number 1. So back to the top of the order now for Mitch McIntyre. The BYU center fielder 0 for 1, flew out to his counterpart Davis in center field back in the first inning to lead off the ball game. Hundley working from the windup kicks and deals. First pitch to McIntyre, a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate, a called strike. The 0-1. Fastball into the dirt down by the ankles of McIntyre, evens up the count as he takes a quick step out. Takes half a practice swing, steps right back in, and we're set to go here for the 1-1. Hundley out of the windup. Pitch on the way, fouled off up and into the brush beyond the Brewster dugout, 1-2 the count. Rain continuing to fall here at Stony Brook Field. A 1-2 on the way. Fastball down low and away again. Hundley tried to sneak one back door by him, could not. Count draws even once again. The 2-2 offering. Tap foul off the inside of McIntyre's right knee. It's extending it out in foul territory. Couple practice cuts to make sure he's all right. Readjust the helmet and we'll step back in. Probably just a stinger. Taps the plate a couple times, spins the bat out at Hundley, awaiting the 2-2. Another one bounced foul over toward the netting, protecting that Hyannis dugout on the first base line. Chad Gassman making some conversation with the Brewster dugout as he cracks a smile down the third base line. And McIntyre's 2-2 offering on the way is in there on the outside corner for strike 3 as he turns and heads back to the dugout, flips the bat in the left hand, and kicks some dirt off his cleats. None too happy with that call, but he is out number 2. Here comes Nick Lofton.
Baylor, 11, Nick Lofton.
Yeah, that one just kind of froze McIntyre a little bit. Borderline strike for sure, but got rung up as a result.
First pitch to the new batter, the Baylor shortstop Lofton, goes all the way under the glove of Auerbach to the backstop. As it rests just on the edge of the gravel and the grass behind home plate. Count moves to 1-0 as the home plate umpire gets a couple of new baseballs and returns back to his spot behind the catcher, and the 1-0 pitch is in the air down the right field line. Hardman will give it a glance, but it will sail off and into the parking lot out of play. Count 1-1 now to Lofton. The 1-1 from Hundley, a breaking ball into the dirt, picked by Auerbach and fired back to the right-hander Hundley, 2-1. Working very quickly, the 2-1 offering another fastball, that one off the outer edge of the plate. couldn't get Lofton to reach out after it, and it's 3-1. Trevor Hopper loosening up on deck. But before that, the 3-1 sent on the ground down the third baseline foul. A couple bounces toward the Brewster bullpen, 3-2, a full count. So after the home run by Hackenberg, 2 outs. Retiring Simonis and McIntyre. Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball again. Bounce foul straight back. So Lofton hanging tough with 2 strikes, making sure to protect the plate. And we'll see another full count pitch on 3-2. The next payoff. Again launched foul up and over the right side this time. Up toward the concession stands at the top of the hill behind us. Hunley winds and delivers the third straight payoff pitch. A bouncer up the middle. Ranging after it is Kostenin. Fires across the diamond to first base and in time to retire Lofton and retire the side. So after the home run from Hackenberg, Hunley settles down and gets 3 straight outs to retire the Harbor Hawks, but they tack on another and stretch the lead out to 3-1, headed to the home half of the second on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom of the second inning from Stony Brook Field. The score 3-1 in favor of the visiting Harbor Hawks. Brewster Whitecaps coming back to the plate. Marcus Kostenin, Brett Auerbach, and Tyler Hardman due up in this half of the inning. Both starters have yet to work a clean one. As the Harbor Hawks struck for 2 in the first and then 1 in the top half of the second. Whitecaps looking to continue that trend, with the right-hander Garber trying to shut him down. First pitch of the inning to Kostenin on the way. Goes after a high fastball. Swing and a miss, 0-1. So Garber making his first start on the Cape. Not in the best conditions, with rain continuing to fall as he fires in an 0-1 breaking pitch that misses wide, 1-1. Right-hander kicks and fires a 1-1 fastball right down Broadway to get the count 1-2 in his favor on the second baseman Kostenin. Wind continuing to howl here from Stony Brook Field in Brewster, Mass. Just kind of a dreary day as the 1-2 on the way is popped up and off into the distance, off to the right side, up toward the concession stands yet again on that hill. So Garbrick receives a new baseball as awaiting Kostenin to step back in, taps the plate a couple times, and the right-hander into the windup. The 1-2, breaking ball knocked down by Hackenberg to the right of the plate, 2-2. 3 runs on 4 hits thus far for Hyannis in game 2. 1 run, no hits for Brewster. Garbrick's ready with a 2-2, offering a fastball off the webbing of the mitt of Hackenberg as it trickles off to the backstop. Another full count. So Garber kicking some dirt around the back of the mound, perhaps trying to get some better grip on those blue cleats. Ready for a payoff offering. Here it is, and spoiled away, fouled straight back into the netting, protecting the press box here at Stony Brook Field. So a couple tough at-bats for both sides being put up on a 3-2 count. As Kostenin fouled off that high fastball on the last pitch of the at-bat as he spins the bat out toward Garbrick a couple times. The next 3-2 on the way. Breaking ball into the dirt, he walked him. Third of the afternoon thus far for Garbrick. As this time it's Kostenin who's heading down to first base, and that'll bring up the Alabama catcher, Brett Auerbach.
Next up, the catcher.
Battled in another 3-2
Alabama.
count, but
Number 29.
just kind of struggled to get
Brett
that one out over the
Auerbach.
Just kind of struggled to get that one out over the plate a little bit. Battled in that 3-2 count for sure, but just missing down a little bit. And as a result, like you said, Brennan, third walk of the afternoon, early evening for Garbrick.
So here is Brett Auerbach batting from the right side of the plate. Those high blue socks and the Alabama red cleats as the runner takes off for second. Hackenberg fires down to second as it trickles off into the outfield. Coming in to get it is McIntyre, and advancing all the way to third base is Marcus Kostenin. He's 90 feet away from making this a 3-2 game again.
Yeah, that one in the dirt. Hackenberg tried to get up and make a quick and strong throw out to second base, but couldn't quite be picked on that backhand over there by Olsen as a result. Kostenin awarded an additional 90 feet.
So Garbrick tossing the baseball back to Hackenberg, and he'll get a new pearl. Kostenin standing over there at third base. Some dampened dirt featured on that right pant leg as a 1-0 count here to Brett Auerbach, who stands at the plate, wiggling the bat just above his right shoulder. The pitch, 1-0 fastball misses high at the letters, 2-0. Garbrick has struggled locating that fastball a little bit, and perhaps because of these conditions, just an overcast day with some slight rain, but enough to throw off your mechanics a little bit. The 2-0 on the way. Fastball in there for a strike in the outside corner, make it 2-1. So Garbrick trying to battle his way back in this at bat against the Alabama catcher. Waves the bat toward the right-hander a couple times. A 2-1 pitch on the way off the mask of Hackenberg, and as it pops up in foul territory and rolls back toward the fencing off to the right. So the umpire will walk a new ball out to Garbrick, giving Hackenberg some time to recover as he is flexing out that right arm. Looked like it got him off the top of the helmet. Well, that always can be scary. That helmet only provides so much protection, and you see a lot of different catcher's mask styles. The old style with the mask applied over the regular coaching helmet, and this one more of a hockey goalie style mask. A 2-2 from Garbrick, another fastball, full extension swing from Auerbach that time as he sends it over to the shortstop, Lofton. He'll have no play as the run comes in to score. So Brett Auerbach crosses the plate to make it a 3-2 game and an infield single. As Auerbach picks up the RBI, that was Kostenin crossing the plate, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, and that's the first hit that Garbrick's given up. Just a piece of soft contact up the middle. Lofton shifted a little bit to his right, knocked it down to keep it on the infield, but the speed of Auerbach moving down the line, Lofton didn't have a play. As a result, he ate it. No throw to first.
So the Whitecaps are continuing the trend of a runner, at least one runner crossing the plate in each of the half innings respectively on offense for each team as a breaking ball is dropped in backdoor for a called strike, 0-1. This is Tyler Hardman. Also playing today, this afternoon, for the second time in this doubleheader. Auerbach off of first, still nobody away. A walk and now a single. As the 0-1 breaking pitch misses down and away. Moving slightly to the right is Hackenberg to go get it. So Garbrick's got his sign set at the belly button. Dancing over at first is the runner Auerbach as a 1-1 fastball is fouled straight back. So Lofton shaded over toward the second base bag just a bit with a double play, very much in play. Fox Simone is over at third, playing just about even with the bag as a turn and a fire back to first. Tag applied by Carlson. Back in safely is Auerbach. Count rests at 1-2 to the right-handed hitter Hardman out of Oklahoma. As now taking a quick step off the back of the rubber is Garbrick. He'll reset himself as he quickly steps back on. Looking to pick up the first out of the second inning. Here comes the 1-2. Runner goes for second again. Wave and a miss. Throw down to second from his knees. Hackenberg not in time. Spinning back toward the second base umpire was Lofton that time.
Now batting the
Trying to figure out how he didn't apply that tag to the back foot, but sliding in safely is Auerbach with a stolen base.
Yeah, and Olsen gave him a little bit of a questioning look, Brennan. I think he kind of agrees with you, and as well do I. It looked like he got him right on that back leg foot area before he could slide in, but from the view of the umpire, he just got that left hand in there a little bit before.
But more importantly, there is one out in the inning. Hardman went down on strikes. A wave and a miss at a breaking ball is now the new hitter Dom Toso, a new entry into the Whitecaps lineup. Watches a fastball go by down and away for ball one. Three to 2 the score, bottom of the second inning. Here from Stony Brook Field, game 2 of the doubleheader in Brewster. Harborhawks still in search of their first win of the season, clinging to a 1-run advantage right now. The 1-0 pitch from Garbrick, a breaking ball bounced into the dirt. No advance for the runner at second, Auerbach. Two balls and no strikes. As Toso shrugs his shoulders a bit to readjust the sleeves on the jersey. Sporting that white compression sleeve on the back arm. Garbrick a check on second. Now the 2-0 pitch, a high fastball misses. And well ahead in the count, the number 9 man Toso 3-0. So in danger of surrendering his 4th walk of his outing already is Garbrick, as he's fallen behind the Bucknell third baseman. 3 balls, no strikes. And the pitch, fastball in the dirt, a 4-pitch walk, and Toso heads down to first base.
And another walk for Garbrick, and again, got deep into a count again. Just couldn't quite finish it off, and now a little bit of trouble with runners on first and second and just 1 out.
So it is Auerbach at second. Toso obviously just drew the walk down at first base, and now back to the top of the order for Colin Davis. Davis has been aboard today all 5 times combined in the 2 games he's been at the plate. An abundance of walks and a couple singles as well. He's had himself quite the afternoon, and if you just look at his uniform, that proves it. Dirt from top to bottom. First pitch from Garbrick on the way, bounced into the dirt, knocked down by Hackenberg. It was a fastball that missed low. 1-0. The American flag high atop the flagpole in right center field, blowing steadily from right to left. As Davis stands at the plate, awaiting the 1-0 pitch from Garbrick, who has slowed his pace down considerably with a couple runners aboard. The pitch, that's in there on the outside corner, a called strike. Davis nodding his head in agreement. The Moorhead State right-hander, back foot on the mound, peering down, and his teammate Hackenberg shakes off a couple signs. Now he's got one, comes set again at the stomach level. Check on the runner at second. couple times. Here's the 1-1. Breaking pitch finishes wide, 2-1. Well, early on in this one, judging by looking at the scoreboard, a 3-2 game in just the bottom of the second, it appears we would be headed for an offensive showdown, but the pace has slowed down a bit with the Whitecaps at the plate. Garber trying to keep them in check, the 2-1. Fastball in the air down the right field line. Drifting over toward the line is Mosley coming on strong, and it's going to drop in foul territory harmlessly. So 2-2 as Garber receives another new baseball from the home plate umpire. Colin Davis with a slow trot back to the home plate area as he picks up his black bat off of the dampened dirt. Takes a quick stroll behind the right-handed batter's box before stepping back in. Meanwhile, kicking some dirt out of the cleats. Auerbach at second, Toso at first, one away, bottom of the second, 3-2. The Harbor Hawks with the edge. A long pause as Davis gets set back in the box to 2-2. Swung on. A worm burner to second base. Olsen flipped to second for one. Lofton back to first. A big stretch by Carlson. They got him a double play, and that ends the inning. So 4-6-3. Davis falls victim to the classic double play, and the Harbor Hawks get out of a jam with the lead 3-2, headed to the top of the third inning from Stony Brook Field on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Game 2 of this Father's Day doubleheader moving right along into the top of the third inning with the Harbor Hawks making their way back to the plate. It's Trevor Hopper, Hunter Goodman, and Rigsby Mosley set to go against the starter Sean Hunley. 3, 4, and 5 in the Harbor Hawks order. Clinging to a 3-2 lead is Hyannis. 3 runs on 4 hits. 2 runs on 1 hit for the Whitecaps on the flip side of the scoreboard as Trevor Hopper digs in and watches a breaking pitch on the outside corner pick up the outside black for a called strike. Trevor so far singled and scored back in the first inning as part of a 2-run frame for the Harbor Hawks as he sends a fastball on the ground foul off to the right, 0-2. The rain has subsided, at least for the time being, here at Stony Brook in Brewster. Hoping to get this one in as the 0-2 misses up and away. Hopper watches it go by. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The wind has also slowed down a bit. On a chilly Sunday evening, the 1-2 pitch is laced down the left field line, foul up and over the metal bleachers. The crowd has progressively gotten thinner and thinner on the bleachers behind the home plate area. Some more fans have gathered on the hill under the batter's eye in center. 1-2 breaking ball on a line and on a hop into right field. A base hit for Trevor Hopper. Gets through Kostenin and Hardman into right field. So the Arizona State Sun Devil pulling up at first base with a leadoff single in the third. That'll bring up Hunter Goodman, who's had himself quite a quite a nice past couple of games. 1 for 4 with a home run in game 1 of this doubleheader, and also launched a home run yesterday in an afternoon loss to Wareham. So the designated hitter out of Memphis trying to see what he can do in his second at bat in game 2. Already has a double. He's been swinging a hot stick lately. He's got a runner aboard and nobody away to see what he can do. A big cut and a miss through a fastball. Hundley, to his credit, after the 2-run frame, has held it together quite nicely. Another one put up in the second inning, but nothing after that to speak of as a breaking pitch misses on the inner half of the plate to even the count, a ball and a strike. Rigsby Mosley in the on-deck area, slightly adjusting those batting gloves as Hunter Goodman rests the bat just above his right shoulder at the plate. The 1-1 from Hundley. Pops straight up in the air off to the right as it drifts into foul territory. Onto the hill just in front of the concession stands off behind where we are. Next to the press box here at Stony Brook. A 1-2 count to Hunter Goodman. Steps back into the box, the pitch, fastball, foul tipped into the mid, held onto behind the plate by Auerbach, and Goodman is set down for the first out of the inning. It was an elevated fastball that time from Hundley, got Goodman to offer at it. Got a piece of it, but a nice play from Auerbach to squeeze it. So in steps Rigsby Mosley.
12, Rigsby Mosley.
3 for 5 on the day overall between the two games, and he has walked once as well. Crack of the bat down to first base. Picked on a hop by Hardman. Throw to second for 1. Return throw back to first. Not in time as Mosley shows some good hustle getting down the line, but they do get Hoffer, the lead runner, at second. So a fielder's choice for Mosley. He's aboard, and that'll bring up Brooks Carlson, the Sanford product.
Next up, the first baseman from Sanford, number 14, Brooks Carlson.
Well, we talked about it a little bit earlier on in the season. Brooks Carlson, we know he's got some good pop in that bat, but the hits just haven't been falling for him. He's gotten a couple of good shots into the outfield, but hit right at people. As a breaking ball is dropped in on the inner half for a strike. Carlson's bat will come around eventually. We've already noted that Hunter Goodman has started to get going as a spin and a throw back to first. Back with a dive is Trevor Hoffer, the Arizona State Sun Devil. Carlson batting out of the 6th hole for the Harbor Hawks today. Wiggles the bat above his right shoulder and watches another fastball pick up the outside corner for strike 2. So Brooks batting with 2 away here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Trying to advance Trevor Hoffer around the bases and pose a bit of a 2-out rally against these Whitecaps. The 1-1. Runner goes for second. Called strike. Throw down to second will not be in time as Hoffer slides in, but the tag is applied and beats the back foot of Hoffer to the base. Or Mosley, I should say. As Carlson, that bat will continue when he comes back to the plate in the top of the 4th. But for now, it's to the bottom of the 3rd inning from Stony Brook Field, a 3-2 Hyannis Harbor Hawk lead here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. home half of the third inning as we welcome you back onto the broadcast from Stony Brook Field. The Brewster Whitecaps and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. The visiting Hyannis in front 3-2. Game 2 of this Father's Day doubleheader. Alex Garbrick, the starter, back for his third inning of work as this one is on the ground toward third under the diving glove of Fox Simonis and into left field. A base hit for the leadoff man, Al Solari. That'll bring up Tyler Gentry. A quick start for the Whitecaps in the third inning as they pick up just their second hit of the game. They've been a beneficiary of multiple walks, 4 to be exact, suffered by Alex Garbrick. Is digging in now the right-handed Gentry. 0 for 1 today is Gentry with a strikeout back in the first inning. Wave through an outside fastball on that at bat. Check back on Solari at first. Back in with a dive. So Hyannis, after the loss in game 1, 0-4-1, coming into game 2 is another check on Solari at first. Back in with a dive again. Gentry still awaiting the first pitch as he pinwheels the bat a couple times. Now he's ready. He's got it above that right shoulder. Garber kicks and deals. Breaking ball into the dirt. A brisk afternoon here from Brewster. Wind continuing to blow, but the rain has subsided, and that is a good thing. So that means a bit more baseball is in the forecast for sure here from Stony Brook. Garbrick's 1-0. Runner goes for second. Chopper back up the middle, right toward Olsen at second base, but he muffs it. Throw to first is going to be high and wide. Carlson had to jump off the bag to get it. A tough play for the second baseman Olsen, and it's 2 on and nobody out. So walking to the plate, the DH TJ Collette. In a big spot now for the Brewster Whitecaps, trailing by 1 here in the third. Couple runners aboard now. Brewster trying to claw their way back to tie this one or perhaps take the lead. Just 2 runs on 2 hits as opposed to Hyannis' 3 runs on 5 hits. And an error apiece for both sides. First pitch, swing and a miss. A breaking ball down and away. Good spot that time from Garbrick. Got Collette to go fishing after it. He came up empty. Solari a short lead off of second. Gentry the same off of the bag at first. Garbrick a breath. The right-hander kicks and deals an 0-1. Another fastball into the dirt. Stopped by Hackenberg as he squeezes the glove in between his legs to corral it. A ball and a strike now to the Kentucky Wildcat. The Sun Devil Gage Workman loosening up on deck. The 1-1 on the way from Garbrick. Cut and a miss. Another off-speed breaking ball. Pulled the string on him. 1-2. One thing to note from Garbrick's start this afternoon. Works very quickly out of the windup, but slows his pace down quite considerably with runners aboard. This time he's got 2 on and nobody out. And Collette trying to do some damage in favor of the Whitecaps. The 1-2 on the way. Fastball popped up in the air, drifting back onto the shallow outfield grass. Now racing in is Hauber from left, and calling him off was Lofton, but it was Hauber coming in to make the play. And there's quickly 1 out now. Gage Workman coming up.
Next up, the shortstop from Arizona State, number 25, Gage.
So the left-handed hitting Arizona State product set to go. Taking a quick stroll around the mound is Garbrick. Taking a long stare at Solari out at second base a couple times over the course of the past couple at bats. Very concerned with his speed out there. Just 180 feet away. Should he go? Hackenberg's got quite the arm to back up the right-hander on the mound. He does take off for third. Hackenberg from his knees to throw to third, and the tag is not applied as Simonis couldn't corral the baseball. So the count moves to 1-0 as the pitch was low. Tough play for Hackenberg to snap out of the crouch and fire. He did so from his knees, but Simonis couldn't make the sweep across the bag to tag the sliding Solari. So both runners advanced to scoring position now, and Collette makes his job a lot easier. Any type of contact to the right side as well as a fly ball to the outfield should tie up this ball game. And dealing with a 1-0 count against Garbrick, the pitch, breaking ball. A high bouncer into the netting off to the right side, a foul ball. So 1-1 as Workman has his toes on the paint of the left-handed batter's box, now steps back in, waving the bat a couple times and resting it on top of that left shoulder. A 1-1 offering. Squared to bunt, and it got him on the back foot. Off the toes of that left cleat, he'll head down to first, and that loads him up. So hit by pitch, courtesy of Alex Garbrick, and Workman heads down to first. Here comes Marcus Kostenin, the second baseman now for game 2. Made in his first appearance of his Cape Cod summer at shortstop back in game 1, now right back in the lineup for game 2. And making this plate appearance in perhaps the biggest spot, with the bases loaded and just one out against the right-hander. Garber kicks and delivers. Breaking ball finishes low and away for ball 1. So Kostenin takes a step out, extends the bat in front of him, takes a quick glance at it, taps the plate a couple times. He's back and ready for the 1-out. Garber trying to work out of a 1-out bases loaded jam. Hyannis clinging to a 3-2 lead as the breaking ball misses again down and away, 2-0. So the right-hander from Morehead State working in dangerous territory, walking a fine line right now. Solari at third, Gentry at second, and Workman over at first. And a dangerous Kostenin at the plate. Already walked once in this game. And 2 pitches away from repeating that same fate again. Fastball is in on the outside corner on 2-0, make it 2-1. So Garbrick trying to climb the mountain back into this at bat. The pause as he gets his sign from the catcher, Hackenberg, behind the plate. Kicks and delivers a 2-1. Breaking ball almost came out of his shoes, did Kostenin on that swing as he trots over into foul territory after that hearty hack. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's taking a walk around the home plate area to regather himself. A big looping breaking ball that time from Garbrick. No doubt had Kostenin fooled, as now he'll take a step out and Garbrick will take a step off the back of the rubber. So both men regaining their composure here before the 2-2 pitch. Perhaps one of the bigger ones to this point in the ballgame. The offering. Breaking ball. Tapper in front of the mound. Off the mound to get it is Garbrick. He fumbles it a bit. Throw to first is going to be high, and it gets away. 1 run is in to score. Right behind him, another one coming in. Tyler Gentry to cross the plate. Advancing up to second base on the errant throw from Garbrick is Kostenin. As Gage Workman is over to third base and thought he could come in and try and sneak across the plate to make it a 5-3 lead, but instead a 4-3 lead now in favor of the Brewster Whitecaps. That'll go down as an E1 in the scorebook. So a tough one for Garbrick, not helping his own cause very much, and now time is called as the umpires are going to converge just to the right of the third baseline. Not sure exactly what the conversation is about, but a tough play for Garber coming off the mound that time and making a high throw over to Brooks Carlson at first base to try and prevent any more runs from scoring, but the Whitecaps have regained the lead 4-3. Workman at third, Kostenin up to second, and now it is Brett Auerbach at the dish, already singled once in this game. Wind continuing to blow, temperature dropping as we approach nightfall here on Cape Cod. Tapping that left foot with the bat in the batter's box is Auerbach. Now he corrals it just above the head level, and a big cut and a miss at a breaking ball down and away, 0-1. Garber gave up back-to-back singles to begin this frame before getting TJ Collette to fly out to Trevor Hover in left field. He plunked Gage Workman, And just now, Marcus Costentin tapped one in front of the mound, and Garber didn't help his own cause as a fastball misses away 1-1. So the Whitecaps, very resilient and showing their offense, putting up a couple of runs on the board and taking the lead on the Harbor Hawks as the breaking ball is bounced up to the plate. Workman thought about advancing from third, but decided against it as now he takes a slow walk back to the pillow. So Garber struts back to the rubber, 2-1 the count. Both offenses at the forefront of this one, a 4-3 advantage for Brewster as that fastball misses away again. Tried to frame it, did Hackenberg behind the dish instead. A 3-1 count now in favor of the Alabama catcher Auerbach. So Garber one pitch away from reloading the bases here in this inning. As he kicks and fires a 3-1 fastball into the dirt. Tossing the bat off to the left is Auerbach. He heads down to first base, and they're loaded up again now for the number 8 man, Tyler Hardman.
Now batting the first baseman from Oklahoma.
Chad Gassman is making his way up the dugout steps, and now time is called. So he makes a slow walk out toward his right-hander Garber on the mound. Hackenberg is also going to join in. Jackson Olsen slowly making his way in from second base now, stops in the middle of the dirt as Gassman and Hackenberg will just attend the conference, and that will be the day. Gassman takes the baseball from Garber. He's heading back to the dugout. We've got a pitching change here from Stony Brook Field. We'll have it for you on the other side of the break when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We welcome you back into Stony Brook Field off the pitching change. It's the right-handed Florida Gator making his first appearance of his 2019 Cape Cod summer, Nolan Crisp. In his freshman season down at Florida, pitched 39 1/3, gave up 37 hits, 25 earned runs, walked 19 while striking out 21, and a 5.72 earned run average. Also went 4-4. He'll be greeted by the number 8 man in the Brewster order, Tyler Hardman. He inherits a bases-loaded, one-out situation. So talk about being thrown right into the fire in your Cape League debut. Perhaps the toughest situation possible, and Hyannis already trailing with a couple runs coming across the plate in the frame. 4-3, Brewster with the edge. First pitch from Chris, a breaking ball off the outer edge of the plate. It's Workman at third, Kostenin at second, Auerbach at first. And the Oklahoma first baseman Hardman at the dish. Crisp's 1-0, pumps in a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. He's got a lively one. He's a fastball changeup slider guy. Fastball sits low to mid 90s. So Hardman waves the bat a couple times. Crisp, right arm dangling with the baseball. Comes set, now the 1-1. Breaking ball dropped in backdoor for a strike. Well, there's that slider I talked about. Sits at about 80 to 83 miles an hour in that range. As a junior back in high school in 2018, struck out 97 batters with a 1.35 earned run average over 67 innings. Some incredible numbers back in Crisp's high school days as he takes a step off the rubber. A 1-2 count here against Hardman. The right-hander's 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss, a breaking ball, and down goes Hardman. Second time he's set down by way of the K in this one. So 2 down in the home half of the third, and Dom Toso, the Bucknell third baseman, stepping in. So Crisp making his presence felt right out of the bullpen, picking up a strikeout as he fires in a slider that misses wide 1-0. Trying to prevent the Whitecaps from stretching this lead out any further. Currently owners of a 1-run advantage with the bases loaded and 2 outs. A fastball that misses off the outer edge, 2-0. Toso in the ballgame so far. Walked and was stranded at first back in the second inning. Brewster was able to scratch across one in that frame, the 2-0. Just below the knees, 3-0. Crisp trying to pick his spots and not receiving the call that time as Hackenberg couldn't frame it for him. All 3 runners taking their respective leads off the bag. The 3-0 from Crisp, a fastball. He walked him. So that will plate another run. As coming in to score is Gage Workman, extending the lead out to 5-3. Kostenin to third, Auerbach to second. And that will bring up Colin Davis, the 9th man to hit in the frame. 3 runs have been brought in. It was 3-2 coming into the frame, now 5-3 Brewster. So once again, the Hyannis pitching staff surrendering another lead. 5 runs on just 2 hits. Brewster has drawn the walks and drawn them in bunches, 5 in the ball game. First pitch, a broken bat from Colin Davis on the ground to short. Lofton goes to Olsen the short way to second base for the force, and that retires the side. But the Whitecaps, once again, pushing across 3 runs in the frame to regain the advantage, 5-3. We head to the top half of the 4th inning with the Harbor Hawks coming back to the plate, trying to regain some momentum on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back here from Stony Brook Field in Brewster, Massachusetts, top of the fourth inning, 6, 7, and 8 for the Harbor Hawks due up as they suddenly find themselves trailing in the ballgame by a couple of runs. It's 5-3. The Whitecaps on top here at home. Sean Hunley back on the bump, and Brooks Carlson set to dig in. It is Jackson Olsen, my apologies, as Carlson struck out to end the last frame. Rigsby Mosley was gunned down at second base as the third out of that inning. It's Jackson Olsen dealing with a 1-1 count now against the starter Hunley. 1-1, a fastball set the opposite way, but up and over everything, off into the brush. Some spectators peeking through a hole in the woods as a 1-2 fastball is tapped down the first baseline as Hardman goes into foul territory to get it. It's kind of a nice view up there behind that Brewster dugout down the third baseline. Some fans perhaps enjoying the ball game for free today in the confines of their own yard. Hunley's 1-2. Breaking ball over the top of it goes. Olsen down swinging. So he is retired, one gone now, and that'll bring up the catcher Adam Hackenberg, who launched a home run earlier on in the ball game.
Next up, the catcher.
That one came back in the second inning to lead off that frame, and it got out in a hurry. Kind of a line drive over the left field wall over that diamond baseball sign by the 3:15 mark and the foul pole. First pitch from Hunley on the way. Fastball misses off the other edge of the plate. Hackenberg watches it go by, a 1-0 count. A breaking ball that goes all the way to the backstop. Auerbach with no chance to extend out and corral it. 2 balls and no strikes to the Clemson product. James Madison, man, Fox Simonis on deck as the 2-0 pitch is fired in, a breaking pitch on the outside corner. Hackenberg takes a couple steps out and a big practice hack before the 2-1. Hunley's ready. Here's the offering. Fastball just misses away again. 3-1 to Hackenberg. No activity going on down there in the Brewster bullpen as Hunley is cruising along the 3-1. Hackenberg spoils it away up and into the playground area here at Stony Brook Field. Count moves through to 3-2. Hackenberg spins the bat. The payoff pitch from Hunley. Swing and a miss is a high fastball. Hackenberg went chasing after it. Back-to-back strikeouts to begin the fourth inning from Hunley.
That's 5 for him now today. So you saw the first couple innings. Harbor Hawks bats were right on top of him. Adam Hackenberg, who was fresh off that solo shot in the second. But since then, he's really started to elevate that fastball well. Some good command of it. And as a result, 5 Ks.
So Fox Simonis digs in as he watches a fastball go by outside 1-0. Fox popped out to the shortstop Workman in his first plate appearance back in the second. 1-0 fastball sent out toward Workman again at shortstop. This time it trickles by him into center field as Davis will corral it. Taking a turn around first is Fox Simonis. He's got himself a base hit with 2 outs in the fourth.
Now batting the center fielder from Brigham Young. Number 17.
So back to the top of the lineup now for Mitch McIntyre. Trying to get himself back on the right foot. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. A fly out to center as well as a strikeout in the first and second innings. Coming up now with 2 down here in the Harbor Hawk fourth. First pitch from Hunley. Fastball, that one rests on the outside corner, painting the black 0-1. So Simonis slowly shuffling his feet off the bag at first. The 0-1 to McIntyre. Off the outer edge of the plate. Auerbach scampers to his left to go get it, nearly toppled over. A 1-1 count to the BYU center fielder. Feet about shoulder width apart as he sends a 1-1 pitch up and over everything off to the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes on him. Approaching 6:30 Eastern time here in Brewster. Top of the fourth inning from Stony Brook, 2 away in the Harbor Hawk half of the inning. The 1-2 pitch to McIntyre, swing and a miss, and that retires the side. McIntyre down on strikes for the second time this afternoon as it's a 5-3 Brewster lead. They keep it intact as we head to the home half of the fourth here from Stony Brook Field on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Bottom of the fourth here at Stony Brook Field in Brewster. It's the Harbor Hawks 3, the Whitecaps 5. As Brewster sends up their 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the order, and now pinch hitting for the second time in as many games, this time for Al Solari. It'll be Brennan Reback out of Virginia Tech as he squares to bunt, pulls back, and a fastball gets him right on the front leg. So a quick trip to the plate for the hitter Brennan Reback, who draws a hit-by pitch from Nolan Crisp, walks down to first, throws the bat toward the dugout, and one pitch, one man on for the Brewster Whitecaps in the bottom of the fourth frame.
Gentry.
So Reback in last game came in to pinch hit as well, as we mentioned a minute ago. Came in for Tyler Gentry, who's the hitter now, as he grounds one to short. Lofton fields it cleanly to Olsen for one, relay to first, but he's safe by just a half a step. So 6-4 fielder's choice, inches away from the twin killing. But the speed of Gentry beats it out at first, and now Crisp has a man on with one out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Next up, the designated hitter.
That would have been a tough turn. Lofton had to shovel it out of the glove pretty quickly, and the return throw to first was got out of the glove pretty quick, but the nice stretch by Carlson still wasn't enough.
So now Gentry's at first. The runner Reback erased at second, the man who came in to replace Gentry last game. Now it's TJ Collette who cuts through the first pitch from Chris for a strike. So Brendan, you talked about it a little bit last inning when Crisp entered the game. 3-pitch guy to his repertoire. Fastball, curve, or fastball, slider, changeup rather. So far we've seen the fastball, breaking ball mixed in. Pretty healthy amount. Changeup in there every now and then. Pitch to Collette. Ground ball left side. Past the glove of Simonis and into left field through the 5-6 gap. Around second and stopping right there, the runner Tyler Gentry. And just like that, a base knock for TJ Collette. His first of the ball game puts runners on first and second.
Yeah, Collette over the course of his past couple of bats looks like he's been seeing the ball a bit better. Back in the third inning, it was a fly out to Hoffer, and this time squared one up. Didn't try and do too much, just poked it the other way into left field. A trickler in between Simonis and Lofton for a base hit. So a couple runners on now for the Whitecaps, threatening again.
So Crisp, fresh out of the stretch, checks the runner at second, looks down a couple of times, and now fires home to Workman. Fastball for a called strike. So Crisp now in his first full inning of work, and the first full inning that belonged directly to him. He quickly gets the sign from a former SEC man in Hackenberg, comes home, and the Pac-12 player Workman fouls it off and out of play on the left side. So Garbrick's day is done for Hyannis. The right-handed starter out of Morehead State went 2 1/3, just 2 hits, 5 runs, 3 of them earned, 5 walks, and 2 punch-outs. He was kind of all over the zone today in his first start on the Cape. But Crisp came in to relieve him last inning, getting the final 2 outs, walked 1 himself, but that run was credited to Garbrick. Now runners take off, pitch from Crisp, strike call to Workman, and he's down on strikes, but taking off for third, no problem, the runner Tyler Gentry, and that puts runners on the corners for the Whitecaps, but as a result, 2 down as Gage Workman strikes out for the first time today, and it'll be the first strikeout for Nolan Crisp, or make that the second rather.
Second baseman from UC Santa Barbara, number 31, Marcos Castanon.
So that'll bring up Marcos Castanon, UCSB shortstop. Crisp's first pitch is in the dirt with a off-speed pitch, and it's 1-0. So Tyler Hardman was punched out by Crisp when he first came on. That was back an inning ago in the bottom of the third. Right there, he punched out Workman for the second out of the fourth. Now looks to hold the score where it is. Pitch to Castanon misses away. It'll be 2 balls and no strike. 5-3 the score in favor of the Whitecaps. And Hyannis once again out-hitting Brewster. They have 6 hits to the Whitecaps 3. But Brewster just kind of capitalizing on some walks so far here today. And now the 2-0 from Nolan Crisp. It's down again with a fastball. And Castanon way ahead at 3-0. Well, Marcos has reached base twice today. In this game in particular. Walked and scored in the second and reached on the Alex Garbrick errant throw back in the third. 3-0 from Crisp. Fastball just down. So third plate appearance in as many innings, third time reaching base in as many innings. Castanon walks down to first, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs for Brett Auerbach, the Alabama catcher.
Now Crisp has been struggling with locating that fastball a bit. As we mentioned, a couple of free passes surrendered by him thus far, and now another bases loaded jam.
So an important batter here for Auerbach. Hyannis is down 2, so still in striking distance. But Crisp could use a big out here as he puts a curveball right at the top of the zone for strike 1, or a slider rather. So just kept it inside the zone with that breaking stuff. And now quickly gets the sign from Hackenberg. Next pitch, popped up and fouled away on the right side. And a good sign for Nolan ahead at 0-2. Gentry stands at third. Collette at second. And Marcos Castanon at first. 0-2 from Crisp. Fouled away again, right side over the Harbor Hawk dugout and toward the bullpen and the parking lot. Auerbach having a nice summer through the first week of the season. His average sits at exactly 500, being 4 for his first 8. No RBIs yet, but he's got an opportunity right here. If we get there, Tyler Hardman awaiting on deck. Crisp sets at the chest. 0-2. Popped up and out of play over the press box behind home plate. So in his freshman season, Nolan Crisp led all Florida freshmen in starts made, even though he served more as a bullpen arm in the long run. He was third on the team in appearances and third among Florida freshmen in innings pitched. He stares down the hitter Auerbach, and now comes set. Here's the stretch and the 0-2 pitch on the way. Down low, gets through the wickets of Hackenberg, but not too far. Gentry thought about it, now coming back to third. Back pick by the catcher Hackenberg, and he's safe. Dives in just a split second before the tag could be applied by Fox Simonis at third. So Gentry catches a break there. It was a ball down in the dirt, so now it's 1-2 to the Crimson Tide Auerbach. Crisp stares him down. Now delivers home, 1-2. Ground ball up the middle, Lofton to his left, dives and can't get there, it skips into center. One run scores, another coming around, throw is cut off from McIntyre. No, he spikes it right into the dirt. Gets it back in time before a third run can come in. But Gentry and Collette coming in on the play. It's a 2 RBI single for Brett Auerbach. And the Whitecaps are up 7-3 in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, tough one there. You mentioned how McIntyre spiked the throw in the outfield. Not sure that would have made a difference anyway. It was a slow hit ball as Lofton had a long way to go, ranging to his left to try and dive and corral that one. Not sure if he would have gotten up and made the throw to first base anyway to get an out. But a 2 RBI single off the bat of Brett Auerbach. And once again, the Whitecaps starting to break this one open.
Crisp counters with an off speed. That misses just outside to the hitter Tyler Hardman. Well, Hardman today's been punched out twice, swinging both times. Once by Alex Garbrick and once by the current man on the mound, Crisp. The right-hander sets and fires, fouled away. Taking off with the pitch was Auerbach. He's going to have to retreat to first. Crisp, not a big lengthy guy like some of these Hyannis starters. Sits at 5'9", 175 pounds. But despite the small frame size, can still pump in a pretty good fastball. 1-1, misses upstairs. And Hardman's just a little bit ahead. Hardman just 2 hits on the season. Now the pitch from Crisp. Popped foul, first base side, and it's going to get out of play. Those 2 hits for Hardman both came just a game ago. And a little over a couple hours ago. And what was an 11-5 win over these very Harbor Hawks right here at Stony Brook Field. That was game 1 of the doubleheader. And in the Cape Cod League, each doubleheader lasts just 7 innings. So 11-5 in 7 for Brewster. And currently up 7-3 here in game 2 in the bottom of the fourth. 2-2 from Crisp. Curveball on the outside corner, strike 3. Tyler Hardman makes it a hat trick today as he's punched out for the 3rd time, and the Harbor Hawks get out of the inning. But not before an additional 2 come across for the Whitecaps, who now hold a 4-run lead at 7-3 through 4 innings of play. We'll be back for the 5th when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Top of the fifth underway here at Stony Brook Field in Brewster. It's the Whitecaps 7 and the Harbor Hawks 3. And a new arm on hand for the Brewster Whitecaps. It's the right-hander Stevie Emanuels out of the University of Washington. He fires in the first pitch to the hitter Lofton, and it misses outside.
Batting the shortstop for Baylor, number 11, Nick Lofton.
Emanuel stares in at his catcher Auerbach, fires home a fastball. Lofton sends it the other way on the ground to second, bobbled by Kostanen, and he can't make the play in time, beating it out Lofton at first, and he reaches via the E4. So the Harbor Hawks catch a little bit of a break, getting a man on to lead off the inning. That'll bring up Trevor Hoffer with nobody down and a man on first.
Yeah, when you're down by 4 heading into the middle innings of a 2-game doubleheader, you'll take him any way you can get him that time. Kostanen bobbling the ball, trying to make it out of his glove and get a throw over to first.
So Emanuels checks the runner. He's going to work right out of the stretch. Sets chest high and fires home. Fastball up high. Emanuels has a good fastball. It sits at about the mid-90s. Also works in a couple of off-speed pitches as well. Pitch to Hoffer. Fastball on the outer edge for strike 1. Short lead at first for Lofton. Infield playing pretty much straight up, and the offering. Fastball away. So Emanuels for a lot of the season. Top 10 in the Pac-12 in ERA. In fact, he finished right there as well. 2.35 ERA on the season in 53 2/3 innings pitched. 2-1 to Hoffer. Punched the other way into left field, dropping for a base hit. Lofton moves up to second. Around the bag at first is Trevor Hoffer, and how about that? A 3-hit day for the Sun Devil.
Yeah, not a bad game 2 at all here for Trevor Hoffer after going 0 for 3 in game 1, avenging that poor performance with a 3 for 3 start to this one. Just lofting a short single into the grass in left center. Couple runners aboard now for the Harbor Hawks, trying to plate a couple.
So that's 2 on. Brings up the red-hot hitting Hunter Goodman. Goodman currently hitting .273. He's got 2 home runs to his name so far in 2019. Emanuels checks Lofton at second, fires home. Goodman pops it straight up the elevator shaft. Auerbach giving it a look, loses the catcher's mask and grabs it for the first out. So Goodman sent down on a pop-up right to the catcher. And now Rigsby Mosley will walk to the plate. 1 down, 2 aboard.
Now batting the right fielder from Troy, number 12, Rigsby Mosley.
So Emanuel's second on Washington in appearances in 2019. He made 31 of them. And he was one of their vital bullpen pieces down the stretch for the purple and gold. First pitch, called strike right at the bottom of the zone to Mosley. Emanuels hails from Bellevue, Washington. He was ranked the number 4 righty in the state out of high school by perfect game. Right-hander has the glove right on the chest, now comes set. Gives Lofton a look at second, fires home. Mosley puts it on the ground to second. Kostanen fields it, flips the second for 1, relay by Workman, and Mosley beats it out. So Rigsby avoids the 4-6-3 double play, keeps the inning alive. But erased at second is Trevor Hoffer, and now it'll be 2 on, both on the corners for Brooks Carlson with 2 down.
Yeah, Mosley went after a high fastball, tried to put one up in the zone, did Emanuels. Sent it over to Kostanen at second, made a good flip to second base, but the speed of Mosley being put on display there is beating out the double play.
So Emanuel's ready. First pitch to the Samford Bulldog Carlson is right at the knees for a called strike. Brooks today 1 for 2. Single and a strikeout to his name. Emanuels Giving Lofton a look, fires home. This is a breaking ball. That's a called strike. Carlson sitting at 235 through just about the first week of the season. And he looks to try to cut away at this lead with a man on third. Pitch, cut and a miss. Emanuels punches out Carlson to end things in the top of the fifth. And the score remains where it stands, 7-3 in favor of the Whitecaps through 4.5 frames. Hyannis had 3 runs through the first 2 innings, but 3 straight zeros up on the board. And the Whitecaps up by 4. We'll go to the bottom of the fifth when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Brewster.
It's the bottom of the fifth here from Brewster as Nolan Crisp is back on the mound, out for his 3rd inning of work. Whitecaps up 7-3 as he fires a first pitch fastball in for a strike to the Whitecaps hitter, Dom Toso. Quickly comes back with another heater, same spot, called strike. Toso just watched it go by, and just in the blink of an eye, he's behind 0-2. Crisp ready to go again. This time counters with a slider that's popped foul out of play. So Crisp led up that 2 spot in the bottom of the 4th. Looking to quickly rebound from it. Fastball up high, and it's fouled straight back. Those are the only 2 runs he's allowed so far today, both earned. And just 2 hits surrendered as well. But that Brett Auerbach 2 RBI single extended the Whitecap lead to 4. And the pitch, ground ball right side towards second, ranging to his right. Jackson Olsen spins, throws on the ground, and can't be picked by Carlson. He beats it out. Toso aboard at first with an infield single, and the Whitecaps just continue to put runners on base here in this game 2 of the double dip.
Yeah, tough play for Olsen that time, ranging a long way over to his left. Let that one get pretty deep, almost on the lip of the outfield grass that time, and had to make a spin throw, made it tough on himself. And the throw just got away from him.
So Crisp now dealing with a runner at first. Lineup flip back to the top for Colin Davis. First pitch from the stretch, Davis shows bunt. Back pick by Hackenberg to first, tag applied, and he's safe. Carlson couldn't get it down in time. Whitecaps given a gift there. The runner Toso started to dash towards second, quickly slammed on the brakes, fired back to first. Hackenberg with an absolute strike, but Carlson couldn't quite get the tag down in time, and Toso slid just a bit under it. 0-1, Crisp throws over, but back safely standing up, the Bucknell product, Toso. They could have really used that to just wipe a runner off the bases. But as a result, it's now 0-1 to the leadoff man out of Wofford and Davis. Swings at the next pitch, lines it foul down the right field line, and it gets out of play over by the concession stands. Davis today 0 for 2 along with a walk. He did score a run, but still leading that Brewster lineup up at the top with the 333 clip. Crisp spikes one in the dirt, gets right over the head of Hackenberg, and advancing 90 feet is the runner Toso on the wild pitch. So Davis takes a second out of the box. He'll readjust that right batting glove and the Velcro. He's Stares down his bat, holding it just out in front of his head. Now he digs into the box after tapping the plate once. Knees bent, slight open stance, and now the pitch from Crisp. Lined into left center, Hauver out to his left. He can't get there. It gets into the gap and rolls all the way to the wall. Around third and scoring easily is Toso, cruising into second, Colin Davis, and it's an RBI double for the leadoff man for the Whitecaps, as it's now 8-3 in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, Crisp left one out over the plate that time. A breaking ball that didn't have much break to it, but perhaps a slider as Davis was all over it. Sent it way out into the gap. Hauver with no chance to go make the play. He's having to go all the way back to the wall to corral it. And like you said, Lyle, an easy double.
So a runner on second. Now it's the number 2 hitter, Brennan Reback from Virginia Tech. Crisp's ready. Stretch and the offering. Fastball right at the top of the zone for strike one. Well, that first pitch equals the amount that Reback has seen in this game, as he came into pinch hit for Al Solari after he exited with a 1-for-1 day with a walk. And Reback hit on the leg with the first pitch he saw. Offering from Crisp, misses high with a fastball. A little bit of an early release point there, as he sailed it just a bit up high, took Hackenberg a bit out of his crouch. Lofton giving some attention to the runner at second. That's Davis playing right behind him. Now retreats. Pitch from Crisp. Swing and a miss. Reback went down to a knee to try to golf it. He comes up empty. It's 1-2. So Crisp looking to further limit any further damage. He looks down twice and now fires home a low changeup. That misses just down, right at about the shoestrings, and the count will level. Three strikeouts on the day already for Crisp. Looking to make it a fourth. Time's called. Reback wants a minute out of the box. Crisp was taking a long time, really keeping a Hawkeye-like watch on the runner Colin Davis at second, and for good reason. He's already stolen a bag in this game. Stole one bag in the earlier game, and now the 2-2 misses down. Reback, a transfer from Central Arizona College. He hit .265 with 27 RBIs in his time there. And now sports the Virginia Tech Hokies uniform. 3-2. Slap the other way, foul. Last summer, Reback played for the Rockford Rivets of the Northwoods League, hit just over 200, but made the jump that so many dream of doing, from whether it be the Northwoods League or the NECBL or the Futures League, up here to the elbow of Cape Cod. Crisp's 3-2. Fastball gets away from the catcher Hackenberg. That's ball 4, but coasting over to third, Colin Davis. So that's a walk for Brennan Reback, his second free pass in as many tries. And with nobody out, Whitecaps have 2 runners on, both on the corners.
Next up,
That'll bring up Tyler Gentry.
From Alabama, number 28, Tyler Gentry.
So Gentry's in search of his first hit today, although he's reached base twice and scored that many times. Once on an E4 from Jackson Olsen, and he reached and scored after a fielder's choice. First pitch is up high. Slider couldn't break much from the right-hander Crisp. Gentry taps the bat on the plate a couple of times, playing even with the bag Simonis. And now another breaking ball from Crisp. This one hits the zone, and it's 1-1. Gentry just a 190 hitter so far. Looking to up that clip a bit. Runner takes off, hit and run. Foul ball lined down the left field line. It's funny, it started a little bit further to the left toward the Brewster bullpen, almost like it started to tail to the right back toward fair territory, but still dropped just a bit foul.
Yeah, weird type of backspin on that ball, Lyle. As you mentioned, it was tailing toward the Brewster bullpen as guys down there were bracing for impact, but started to tail back toward the chalk down there, and Trevor Hauber didn't even move.
So the Whitecaps just 6 outs away from picking up their 3rd win of the season. Currently sit with 4 points as equivalent from 2 wins. Now the 1-2, runner takes off again, swing and a miss. No throw down by Hackenberg to second, but Crisp with his 4th strikeout of the afternoon. And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter TJ Collette with 2 aboard.
Next up, the
Second and third are where the runners stand for Brewster. It's Davis at third, Reback at second, and Collette with an RBI opportunity. So far today, he's already made his presence felt at the plate. Had an RBI ground out in the first, but earlier in game 1, Collette slapped that 3-run homer the other way. Watches a fastball in the dirt. Then along with that, he had another RBI back in the first inning of game 1 as well. So Collette, a monster day at the plate, 5 RBIs to his name. Now Crisp ready. Next offering. Swinging a foul back the other way. 1-1 the count now. Crisp at this point through exactly 2 innings of work. 8-3 Whitecaps in the bottom of the 5th. The lefty Collette wiggles the bat above his left shoulder. As the 5'9 Crisp fires home, ground ball out to second. Olsen fields it out in front, goes short way to first for the second out, but coming in to score on the play, another Brewster Whitecap. That'll be Brennan Reback, or rather Tyler Gentry jogging home. And now it's 9-3 Brewster in the bottom of the 5th. Another 2-spot up on the board for the Brewster Ball Club. So now it's 9-3 with Workman, the hitter, in the left side of the box. Crisp goes back to the windup. Quick rock and fire. Workman swings away and sends a high pop-up into fairly deep center field. Backtracking easily. McIntyre, he's under it and squeezes it for the final out of the inning. But the Whitecaps just continue to put it on the board offensively. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and 2 in the 5th. As a result, they're up 9-3 over the Harbor Hawks through 5 innings of play. We'll go to the 6th in just a moment when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
The winning number is 7.
Jackson Olsen, the Hartford second baseman, set to lead things off for the Harbor Hawks here as we bring you back for the top of the 6th at Stony Brook Field. 9-3 Whitecaps. The score is Stevie Emanuel's back out for inning number 2. As he fires a fastball just a little low, and it's 1-0. So Emanuel's came in to relieve the starter Sean Hunley after 4 innings pitched, and 4 valiant ones at that. Emanuel's out of the windup from the first base side and the offering. Olsen punches it on the ground on 2 hops to the second baseman charging in. That's Costanen, who fields easily and fires to first, or rather, now been a couple of defensive changes for the Whitecaps. It's Damon Dews who's taken over at second for Costanen. Dews hails from Wright State and Dayton, Ohio.
Number 30, the catcher from Clemson, Adam Hackenberg.
And now to bring up Adam Hackenberg. 1 down, nobody on base. The offering, up high, ball one. One more defensive change as well. A new backstop for the Whitecaps. As behind the plate, CR and Deveni. So it's 2-0 to Hackenberg as Emanuels misses with a fastball. Deveni hails from UMass Lowell and Manalapan, New Jersey. Emanuels offering. Breaking ball that drops into the zone right at the top for strike one. So Olsen grounded out to Dews at second, who moved a couple of feet to his left and just a bit in. Not too hard of a play as he threw it right to first as Hackenberg breaks his bat, puts one on the ground to third, fielded by Toso on the run to first, and it's in time. Toso had to come in onto the infield grass to charge it, fielded it out glove side, made the throw off his back foot and on the run, but plenty of time for the second out of the inning. So Emanuels a couple of pieces of soft contact here in the top of the sixth inning. And now it'll bring up Fox Simonis, who looks to get the Harbor Hawks going in this sixth inning. Emanuels stares him down. The windup and the pitch. Breaking ball, that's away. 7 hits for Hyannis, 6 for Brewster. But the Whitecaps ahead by 6 runs as Simonis line drive over to second, off the glove of Dews and into right field. Tries to throw it to first way late, but Simonis already well past the bag at first. As he'll reach with 2 outs in the top of the 6th, and the Harbor Hawks have their first base runner of the inning. We'll have to see how that's ruled, because Simonis slugged that one pretty hard out over to second. Moving over to his left was Dews, stuck the glove out at the last second and just tipped off the end of it. We'll see what the official scoring is, and yeah, they're going to give it a single. So Simonis now makes it a 2-hit day in game 2 of this double dip with the Whitecaps as he gets his lead at first, and Mitch McIntyre, the leadoff hitter, into the left side of the box. Emanuels fires. It's a fastball low and outside. Mitch today, 0 for 3. Fly out to center and a pair of strikeouts. Emanuels from the stretch. That long delivery as he fires in. It's a fastball low, smothered by the catcher, Deveni. And no advancement from the runner at first, Simonis. Emanuels giving him a long stare down. McIntyre ahead at 2-0 in search of his first hit of the day. 2-0 from Emanuels. Popped up, left side out of play. The McIntyre had that 2-hit day along with a walk on opening night against Chatham. But since then, he's been on a bit of a skid. Just 1 hit since that first game, but looking to put it in the rearview mirror here and maybe extend what's a mini 2-out rally going for Hyannis right now. Emanuels, left leg well in front of the right. He's out of the stretch and fires. It's outside and a bit high for ball 3. McIntyre puts the left hand to the left side of the helmet, adjusts it a little bit, flips the bat toward the mound a couple of times, underhand now into his stance. 3-1, ground ball foul, right side back toward the Harbor Hawk dugout. McIntyre finished up his sophomore year at BYU, where he put together a stellar season. 291, 24 extra base hits, 7 of them going for long balls. Runner will be taking off, 3-2 offering. Ground ball up the middle, off the glove of Emanuels. Can't be stopped on the backhand by Dews and skips into center. Around second, heading for third. Standing up there is Fox Simonis. And Mitch McIntyre with a 2-out single to put runners on the corners and picks up his 4th hit of the summer, breaking that small skid.
Next up, the
9th hit of the day for Hyannis. And that'll bring up Nick Lofton. Runners on the corners with 2 down. Or you could say the 9th hit of this game. And with that 9th hit, that's 20 total today for the Hyannis Ball Club. They had 11 in the first game, out-hit Brewster by 1, but dropped the contest as a whole 11-5. First pitch from the righty Emanuels as the righty Lofton cuts right through it, chasing one out of the zone and away, and it'll be 0-1. Lofton hitless today, but reached in his last time to the plate. It was an error by the second baseman, Kostanen. Emanuel's 0-1, line drive, left side, past the glove of Workman. It gets right off the top of it. He keeps it on the infield, knocking it down, but that'll be an RBI base hit. Simonis comes in to score, and Lofton makes it 9-4 here in the top of the sixth. So Workman, moving to his right, had to jump and try and make a leaping grab. He couldn't quite do so. And now that'll bring up Trevor Hauver with 2 down. So first and second, McIntyre getting a short lead. The shortstop Workman playing right behind him and fairly up the middle. Lofton at first and the pitch to Hauver. Big swing and a miss. Hauver 3 singles today in 3 tries. So after he was spraying the ball all over the yard in the first game with 2 loud outs to the right fielder Gentry, he's made up for it with 3 base hits here in game 2. First time seeing Emanuels as the righty deals. It's fastball down and away. Hauver hit .267 with Hyannis last summer. 1 home run coming back against Katuitt now just over a year ago. As he cuts right through, pitch right at the chest level, and it'll be a ball and 2 strikes to the Sun Devil. McIntyre the runner at second. Lofton standing at first. And Emanuels, who to this point has allowed just the 1 run in an inning and 2/3. Looking to minimize damage and get the Whitecaps out of the inning. Now the 1-2, here it comes. Just outside, and the count will even up. Emanuel stands at 6'5", 210 pounds, so an imposing figure on the mound. As the right-hander out of Washington State stares down the Chandler, Arizona native Hauver. And now ready with the 2-2. Line foul up and out of play. Hauver just outside the box, takes a second to reset, now taps the bat onto the plate a couple of times and swings it out toward the mound pretty consistently about a handful of tries. Handful of times. Emanuels gets the sign, the 2-2, punch foul again. So Trevor entered the day, just 1 for his first 11 on Cape Cod, but he's made up for it, particularly in this game too. Average currently sits at .286 now through the first week of the season. Still a muggy day here at Stony Brook Field. Very overcast with a pretty heavy wind. 2-2. High fly ball, medium depth center field. Coming in a couple of steps, Davis and a little to his right, and he puts it away for the 3rd out. So 1 run comes back for the Harbor Hawks on what was an RBI single from Nick Lofton plating Fox Simonis. But nothing further going for Chad Gassman's ball club as Hyannis trails 9-4 through 5.5 frames. We'll be back for the bottom of the 6th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Damon Dews, who came in as a defensive replacement, getting his first at-bat of the day against Nolan Crisp as he watches a fastball high and away. So Dews, the middle infielder out of Wright State University, hits from the left side. Crisp counters with a fastball right at the knees, and it's 1-1. So Marcos Costanen's day is done after reaching base 3 times, 2 walks, and an E1. Off speed from Crisp, a changeup missing just in. Dews hitting 200 so far on the summer, 3 for his first 15. As he swings and lines one over the glove of Simonis and into left field. Damon Dews smokes one the other way. Simonis couldn't quite get up in time, and it's a leadoff base knock for the Whitecaps to start the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting.
So 7th hit of the day for the Whitecaps, 7th of the game, you should say. As Hyannis dropped the first contest 11-5 in what was a 2 o'clock start this afternoon. Now they trail 9-4 here. As Crisp coming set, a very short lead at first for Dews, and the Gator fires. Breaking ball right at the top of the zone for strike 1. So here's Ciaran Devaney, another defensive replacement. He came in for the Crimson Tide Brett Auerbach. Now the offering from Crisp. Fastball swinging underneath it, chasing one up and out of the zone, and quickly the Gator ahead 0-2. Devaney quickly out of the box. Now resets, and Crisp ready on the mound. Stretch and the 0-2 offering misses up high. So he had one to waste, and he did so. Couldn't entice the hitter Devaney again. Again, a very short lead at first for Damon Dews. Now he gets a much bigger one, and Crisp will step off the mound. So Dews started maybe a foot off the bat. Started to get a couple of shuffle steps towards second. And it forced Crisp to give him a look and step off quickly. Now he's back on, and the 1-2 offering. Never mind. Time called right at the end by the home plate umpire. It was asked for by the hitter Devaney, and it was granted it right before Crisp could get into his windup. So just like that, the count stays that way at a ball and 2 strikes. 9-4 the score here. And the pitch, slider down low. Ciaran Devaney rather, so far this summer. 0 for his first 3, so looking to pick up his first hit with a Whitecap uniform. The UMass Lowell product stares down Crisp, watches a fastball just inside. Crisp gave a long look into the home plate umpire, waiting for a call, but he never got it. So the count runs full. 3-2 with nobody out. Dews the runner at first. Now Crisp ready, the offering. Up high, ball 4. Another walk, this time to Devaney. Dews moves up to second, and the Whitecaps have 2 on with nobody down in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Gassman now going to call time. The Harbor Hawks head coach Chad Gassman making his walk out to the mound to have a word with the right-hander Crisp. And we'll see if he leaves him in the ball game or not.
Tomorrow is listed as a scheduled off day, but it is being used to make up a previously rained out
So Crisp,
game in Hyannis
his first appearance here on the Cape after a freshman season at the University of Florida. He's gone 2 2/3 innings after relieving Garbrick. 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned so far. 4 walks, as well as a quartet of strikeouts.
Batting, number 50.
And now another pinch hitter. It'll be Eric Fargo, who digs in from the right side. He replaces Tyler Hardman. Dews jumping around between second and third, well off the bag, and now Crisp steps off the mound.
From Stetson, number 50, Eric Fargo.
So Fargo out of Stetson University. Crisp giving a look at Dews at second. He's just staring him right down. Now he finally fires home. Fastball right at the bottom of the strike zone. It's 0-1. Fargo also came in at the end of game 1. He came in for TJ Collette. He just popped out to shorten his one at bat. Now looking to make up for a little bit of time and maybe drive in a couple more insurance runs. But Chris puts a slider in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Fargo points the bat out toward Crisp. Pretty imposing figure inside the box. Chris giving a look at the runner at second again. Once again staring him down, and now fires home. Swinging a foul back from the hitter, Fargo. So Fargo came into the day sporting an average of, well, under 100. He was 1 for his first 12. Now you can make it 1 for his first 13 up to this point. 2 runners on. Chris steps off the mound, and Damon Dews, who thought about going to third, had to quickly turn around and head right back to second. Still 1-2. Dews at second, and Devaney at first. And the 1-2 from Chris. Breaking ball just down low. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just getting darker here over Stony Brook Field as we've reached just over 7:15 p.m. 2-2. Fly ball up and out of play on the right side. It's funny, last summer, Eric Fargo didn't play too far from here. In fact, just a short boat ride away on Martha's Vineyard. Hit .236 with 5 bombs there, but made the trip back, this time to the bigger part of the Cape, as he spoils one foul again. But Martha's Vineyard holds a team out on their little island. They play out in one of the smaller collegiate leagues. The Futures League, to be exact. And now Crisp ready, the 2-2. Swing and a high fly ball deep center field. McIntyre going back. He's got a beat on it about 10 feet in front of the wall. He makes the grab. Both runners tagging. Devaney moving up to second. Down to third, the runner Damon Dews. And a productive fly ball out for the big man Fargo, who puts 2 runners in scoring position for the Whitecaps.
Now batting the third baseman from Bucknell, number 24.
So that brings up Dom Toso. Tozo an RBI opportunity. So far today, he's had a pretty good afternoon. 2 walks, one of them for an RBI, as well as a single. Pitch from Crisp. Line drive over the head of Olsen. It falls into right field for a base hit. 1 run scores. Right behind him, Devaney. He's going to come home and step on the plate easily.
2-run RBI single, Dominic.
It's a 2 RBI single for Dominic Tozo, his second hit of the afternoon, his 4th time reaching base safely. And it's double-digit runs again for the Whitecaps, 11-4 in the bottom of the 6th.
Center fielder from Wofford, number 26, Colin Davis.
So now it'll bring up Colin Davis in the top of the lineup. Crisp still needs 2 outs to get out of this bottom of the 6th. And the first pitch pulls the bat back, the hitter Colin Davis, and it's 1-0. The only man aboard, the hitter who just produced that 2-out single, or 2 RBI single, Dom Toso. He stands at first being held on by Brooks Carlson. Crisp's offering, and it's in for a strike. Davis with an RBI double in his last at-bat. That was 1 of 3 times he's reached base today. 2 successfully and safely. Next pitch, slugged into left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit, maybe more. Around second, heading to third, Toso. Davis hitting the bag at second, stopping right there. And the runner coming home Throw from the outfield and Lofton not in time, sliding home safely. Dom Toso. And back-to-back RBI doubles and as many at-bats for Colin Davis. The Whitecaps piling it on in the bottom of the 6th. It's 12-4 Brewster.
Next up, the left
And now it'll
fielder
be Brennan Reback,
from Virginia Tech,
who's set to
number
come to the plate.
16, Brennan Reback.
Reback, 2 free passes and 2 plate appearances, a hit by pitch and a walk to go along with a stolen base as well. Crisp out of the stretch in the first pitch, called strike right at the top of the zone. So Nolan's had a rough go of it here in the 6th. 3 runs put up on the board by the Whitecaps. Just continuing that trend, they've put up a run in every inning in this ball game. That changeup misses low from the right-hander. Count a level at a ball and a strike. So Brewster's scored a run or more in every inning but one in what's been part of this doubleheader today. As Crisp checks the runner, now fires home. Ground ball foul right side toward the Harbor Hawk dugout and off the railing on the Harbor Hawk side of the dugout. The only time Brewster was held scoreless came back in the bottom of the 6th in game 1. The righty Crisp sets. Infield playing just about straight up. Lofton shifted a bit to his left, and now time is called. So that bottom of the 6th, 1, 2, 3, the easiest inning the Harbor Hawks had in any of the first 2 games. That was Kyle Murphy who sent him down in order. 1-2. Check swing and fouled toward the left side in the Brewster dugout now. Hyannis scored in 2 different innings in game 1. They've put together runs in 3 different innings in game 2. They've still out-hit the Whitecaps to this point in both games. They did it by 1 in game 1. Right now they've done it by 1 in game 2. And the pitch from Crisp. Foul ball back and off the screen. But runs are what matters, and the Whitecaps have had a lot of them today. 23 total up to this point. 11 in game 1. 12 so far here in game 2. Still 1 runner at second. Crisp gives him a look. That's Davis. Fires home. Swing and a miss. Brennan Reback punches out. And Nolan Crisp makes it 2 outs on the board here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's Nolan's 5th strikeout of the day. So if you want to look to a bright side for this Harbor Hawks pitching staff today,
From Arkansas,
Nolan's had his healthy dose of strikeouts.
Bulware.
As a matter of fact, in Nolan's freshman year at the University of Florida, well, he had just 21 strikeouts, so good to see him building on it a little bit and just missing bats. Called strike to the new Brewster hitter. As it looks like they have a pinch hitter in now. It's Kobe Bulware, who started in game 1. He replaces Tyler Gentry. Crisp 0-1. And that fastball misses just down. So Bulware, the Arkansas Razorback. He was 0 for 3 in the first game. A strikeout, a line out to third that DeSantolo snagged out of the air. And then a ground out to first as well. Crisp drops in a slider. And a beautiful one, too, right on the outside corner for strike 2. 12-4 the score. 1 runner on, that's Colin Davis at second. Nolan Crisp comes set right at the chest level, staring down the hitter, Kobe Bulware. Infield still back, outfield straight up, and the offering. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Crisp makes it 6 strikeouts on the afternoon, but not before an additional trio of runs come across for the Whitecaps. It's 12-4 Brewster through 6 innings of play, and the Harbor Hawks with their last ups coming up in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Hunter Goodman, Rigsby Mosley, and Brooks Carlson when we come back on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. As we bring it back for the top of the 7th here at Stony Brook Field in Brewster, the Whitecaps are just 3 outs away from sweeping the Harbor Hawks in this double dip on the first week of the season. And with that, the Brewster Whitecaps go to a new arm. It's Peyton Alford out of Virginia Tech as the Southpaw fires a first pitch fastball up high to Hunter Goodman, who watches it sail over his head. Alford ready. Deals the next offering. Goodman spoils it foul.
Hunter Goodman, the DH from Memphis, leading off.
Goodman with a home run earlier today. That came back in the first game of the doubleheader. And now the 1-1. Swing and a high pop-up. This might stay in play. Giving chase the first baseman, Hardman. And he puts it away, or rather that's Fargo, who's come in as a defensive replacement now as he puts it away for the first out of the inning. So now 1 out. It brings up Rigsby Mosley. So Alford set for a lefty-lefty matchup.
Troy, number 12, Rigsby Mosley.
Mosley today. Looking for a hit here as he watches a called strike. Rigsby's reached 3 times, but none successfully. Reached on an error and a couple of fielder's choice. That's a fastball down, and the count will even 1 ball and 1 strike. Carlson awaits on deck. The hitter Mosley wiggling that bat above his left shoulder, and that breaking ball misses way down from the left-hander Peyton Alford. So far this season, Peyton Alford's thrown 2 innings, an ERA of 4.5. 2-1 misses way upstairs again. That brings Mosley a little bit back and out of the box. He's got a hitter's count now at 3-1. Looking to get anything going here in the 7th. And the offering, down low, ball 4. Mosley gives a 2-hand flip toward the on-deck circle on the first base side as he removes one of his batting gloves, walks down to first base, and it'll be Brooks Carlson with 1 on and 1 down.
Next up, number 14, the first baseman from Samford, Brooks Carlson.
So now it's Carlson, 1 for 3 day, pair of strikeouts, but a single back in the first. First time seeing Alford, and he drops in a changeup that's cut and missed by Carlson. Brooks had a big year back at Samford. As the next pitch from Peyton Alford misses down and in the dirt with a breaking ball. In fact, we talked about the average a couple of times for Carlson, which ended the year at 345. But to go up and above that, his average stayed above 370 from the second game of the season until his final 5 games of play in his sophomore year. Now the 1-1 fastball, that misses away. And if you want to dig even deeper than that and zoom the lens in a little bit further, he started with games with a batting average of 400 or better 20 different times in 2019. Now the 2-1, slugged foul on the ground toward third. So he puts it over by the Whitecaps dugout and in between head coach Chad Gassman and one of the ball boys. It's 2-2 to Brooks. The long story short, this kid can flat out hit. I'm sure we'll see a lot of it this summer on Cape Cod. 2-2 from Alford. Fouled back on the ground, and he stays alive with that same count, 2-2. But for Alford, just 2 outs away. Nobody, of course, warming in that Whitecaps bullpen. They're all just standing in their jackets and hats, watching on from afar, hoping the lefty Alford can just finish it off. Now the 2-2, spiked in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Devaney. So Brewster's used 3 defensive replacements, and just substitutes for that matter. Devaney behind the plate, Fargo at first, Damon Dews at second. Mosley, the 1 Harbor Hawk runner, he stands at first base. Left foot on the bag, now he gets about a 2.5-step lead. Fargo not even holding him on, just playing behind. 3-2 offering. Ground ball foul left side again. So Carlson putting together a quality at bat here in the top of the 7th. But Peyton Alford just looking for one more strike here against the Harbor Hawks first baseman. Now here comes the full count. Foul ball right off the right leg of Carlson inside the box, and he stays alive again. So if the game ends here in the top of the 7th, it'll be the second game in a row the Harbor Hawks out-hit the Whitecaps. 10 hits so far in game 2. And once again, 11 in game 1. 3-2. Foul ball back off the screen. Pretty good at bat here by Brooks Carlson.
I was about to say, Lyle, Carson making life extremely tough for Alfred, this left-hander out on the mound. You mentioned the bullpen standing down there and perhaps wondering how long this at-bat's going to go on.
Short lead at first for Mosley. Still no hold. The infield back and the full count offering. Swinging a ground ball over to third. Fielded by Toso. Throws to second for one. Relay to first. Double play, and that's how it ends. 5-4-3 twin killing to end things in the top of the 7th, and that'll do it. Brewster sweeps Hyannis on the day in both games of the doubleheader. They pick up this win 12-4, win their 3rd game of the season, and move to 500 in Cape League play. For the Harbor Hawks, it's been a tough week for them. 0-5-1 through 6 games, and they dropped both here today by scores of 11-5 and 12-4.
Yeah, Lyle, it was a rough afternoon for the Harbor Hawks and still in search of that first win on the season. And they jumped out to a lead in game 1, couldn't hold on to it. And again, jumped out to a lead, putting a 2 spot on the board back in the first inning. And you thought maybe they would get off to a quick start and keep those bats rolling. They put up 5 runs in the first game, I should say. But the bullpen again, once again struggling, and Brewster put up a run in every single frame that they came to the plate in game 2 of this doubleheader, and it results in an 8-run win for them. We'll see them again tomorrow, but this is one that Hyannis, once again, going to have to put in the rearview mirror. It seems like we've been saying that a lot, but it's true. We just got to keep moving on, and tomorrow's a new chance.
Yeah, there's nothing else you can do but just keep playing ball, try to make improvements, and hope for the best. I mean, these are a bunch of talented kids out here. That's not really evident of their play. It's just a simple matter of the fact of haven't been able to close out games. So, Brendan, like you just talked about, for tomorrow, let's just preview it quickly. Whitecaps coming into McKeon. This will be a chance for the Harbor Hawks to get one back. What's going to be a big key for them?
I think it's the pitching staff limiting the free passes. We saw 9 walks tallied up by the Brewster Whitecaps in game 2 of the doubleheader, aided by a couple hit-by pitches as well. So with all those free passes given up, of course, it's going to result in a few hits here and there, driving in several runs. And I think that's what you saw with a couple 2 spots and a few 3 spots as well over the course of this game. So with Hyannis going back home tomorrow, I think that, seeing this Brewster team again might give them some motivation to come back out and prove them wrong. And because Brewster right now is on top of the world thinking that they got Hyannis' number.
So Brewster now makes it 6 points on the season with 3 wins and 3 losses to their name. They come into the day with 2 and pick up an additional pair of wins. The final line for each team, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, 4 runs on 10 hits and 3 errors for Brewster, 12 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors. So that'll be it here for us from Stony Brook Field in Brewster. Once again, Hyannis drops game 1 by a final score of 11-5 and game 2 by a final score of 12-4. For one final time, I'm Lyle Goldstein, joined alongside Brendan Howe. We thank you so much for tuning in again this afternoon, and join us tomorrow on Monday night from McKeon Park against these very Brewster Whitecaps. First pitch set for 6 p.m. We'll talk to you then.